Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. We're coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. President Bola Tinubu is currently meeting his service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa. Tuesday's meeting, which began at about 3 o'clock, also had Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Senate Leader Okweyemi Bamidele in attendance. And the House of Representatives passed the 4 tax reform bills transmitted to the National Assembly in October 2024 by President Bola Tinubu. Recall that the House had on Thursday last week considered and approved the report of the House Committee on Finance, which made some recommendations, particularly in controversial areas, such as the value-added tax and inheritance tax, while awaiting the Senate to similarly pass the bill. The proposed reforms are expected to be transmitted to the President for his assent in the days ahead. The Oyo State House of Assembly has suspended the chairman of Sarki East Local Government Area, Emmanuel Adedokun, over allegation of gross misconduct. The suspension, which takes immediate effect, was announced during the Assembly's plenary following a petition submitted by 11 members of the People's Democratic Party in Sarki East. Petitioners accuse Adedokun of repeatedly disregarding directives from Governor Seyi Makinde since assuming office. An explosion has rocked the Trans-Niger pipeline at Bodo Gokona local government area of Rivers State. The affected section of the major pipeline is currently on fire, though the exact cause of the explosion remains unknown at this time. Authorities have yet to determine whether the incident resulted from human interference, especially amid recent threats by militant groups to attack oil installations in response to the federal government's withholding of Rivers State's allocation due to the ongoing political crisis. The All Progressive Congress chairman of Benue State, Benjamin Omale, has reaffirmed the importance of almsgiving during the holy period of Ramadan and Lent. He emphasized that Governor Hyacinth Alia's administration remains committed to supporting the less privileged. Speaking during a food distribution event at the Benue State Correctional Center in Yokia, Makurdi, the All Progressive Congress Benue State chairman, Benjamin Omale, highlighted the significances of the sacred months, noting that Ramadan and Lent bring diverse and divine blessings and mercies, stressing that the season provides an opportunity for both personal and societal transformation, strengthening one's relationship with God and others.
To complement the good work of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of the State. And you can also know a man who have come to show love for his people and to reduce poverty in the nation. And we're here to also imitate the good work of him.
He further stated that peace period is a time to reflect self-improvement and renew one's commitment to the faith and embodying noble values, encouraging the inmates to remain hopeful, emphasizing that their past does not define their future. And President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has hinted that the Electoral Act 2022 will be amended to include statutory delegates in political parties' primaries slated for next year ahead of the 2027 elections. Akpabio spoke in Abuja, saying, during a meeting with the leadership of the Nigerian Bar Association, the Senate President says the omission of statutory delegates from primaries of political parties in the Electoral Act was a mistake that must be corrected before the next general election. Vice President Kashim Shettima says the nation's economy is on the path of sustained growth. He made this known when President Bola Tinubu hosted the leadership and the members of the House of Representatives to Ifa after the new banquet hall at the State House in Abuja. Kikelomo Okere has the details.
Vice President Kashim Shettima says the government will create a Nigeria where every citizen could thrive. He therefore called on the leadership of the National Assembly to uphold their sacred responsibilities by prioritizing unity and national development over political decisions and partisan interests. Speaking on behalf of the president, he further assured Nigeria that the government's economic policy is yielding results.
I want to commend the Speaker and the leadership of the House for providing stability to the House. There can never be peace without development. There can never be development without peace. The peace in the House is a welcome development. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Mr. President.
Earlier, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, thanked President Tinubu for the invitation to break fast with him and for always showing respect and concern for the House of Representatives. He assured the President that every member of the House of Representatives is in support of his administration, noting that the policies of the government is for betterment of the people and Nigeria as a country. On behalf of the House, the Speaker donated the sum of 705 million naira, which he says is for a 6-month 50% deduction from their salaries to augment the humanitarian engagement of the President and support vulnerable people in the country.
To show our concern to the entire people of Nigeria that the predicament they were in, we also felt it. And because of that, we took a resolution that from July 2024 to December 2024, we will sacrifice 50% of our basic salaries. So that we will now set that money aside and contribute and donate to you so that you can also use it to look at the targeted areas in Nigeria where we have vulnerable people who are in need of food, shelter, accommodation, clothing, and what have you. We leave it to you to decide on where you want to intervene. But it is a symbolic contribution from the House to show you, as well as show the whole entire nation, that the passage of that particular period was being felt by each and every one of us.
Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has revoked the land at the People's Democratic Party's National Secretariat, which is situated in Abuja. Wike issued the revocation notice in a letter dated March 13, 2025, titled Notice of Right of Occupancy with file number MISC 81346 in respect of plot number 243 within Central Area District, Abuja. It was signed by the Director Land Administration FCT, Chijioke Nwakweze. The Adamawa State Government, through the Poverty Alleviation and Wealth Creation Agency, has commenced a technical skill acquisition and trade program for youth and women. The initiative is designed to empower participants with essential skills, enhance human capital development, promote educational advancement, and create sustainable economic opportunities for individuals and communities across the state. As part of Governor Amadou Umar Fitri's commitments to fostering skill development, reducing unemployment, and promoting self-reliance, the Adamawa State Government has resuscitated and revived the 10 well-equipped skill acquisition centers strategically located across the state. These centers serve as hub for vocational and technical training, ensuring that the beneficiaries acquire hands-on expertise in various fields that are critical to economic growth and self-sufficiency. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, the Federal High Court Abuja dismissed FCCPC's request to Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Welcome back. Now to the world of business, where the Federal High Court Abuja has dismissed the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission's FCCPC request to join and challenge Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemical FZE's 100 billion naira import license lawsuit. Justice Inyako Ekwo dismissed FCCPC's joiner request while ruling its application to join and prove Dangote's alleged planned monopoly in the oil and gas sector. The pending suit by Dangote Refinery seeks to void import licenses issued to some Nigerian oil companies by the Nigerian Mainstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Meanwhile, the president of Dangote Industries, Aliko Dangote, alleged that his cement plant in Itori, Ewekure local government area of Ogun State, was demolished twice by the Governor Ibikunle Amosun administration, including the factory's fencing during the second demolition. In a swift reaction to the allegation, the former Ogun State governor said that Dangote does not possess requisite approval for constructing the structure he alleged were demolished. Speaking when he visited his new cement factory located in Itori, Ewekure local government area of the state, Dangote commended Governor Dapo Abiodun for persuading him to return and resume construction of the plant, which is now near completion and expected to commence operations next year. Nigeria and Brazil have signed the commercial phase of the $1.1 billion Green Imperative project to boost agricultural productivity and enhance private sector investment in Nigeria. This agreement was signed at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. It aims to enhance food production, promote sustainable agriculture, and bolster private sector investment in Nigeria. The GIP is the largest agricultural initiative on the continent, prioritizing the development of sustainable, low-carbon farming practices. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, that is NNPCL, has pledged its commitment to ensuring that funds allocated under the Petroleum Industry Act are effectively utilized to drive meaningful development in oil-producing communities, especially in Bayelsa State. This assurance was made by the Chief Upstream Investment Officer of NNPCL, Sheyi Omotowa, during a stakeholders engagement session with the KEFSO host Community Development Trust, that is HCDT, in Yenogua, Bayelsa State. The Economic Community of West African States has called for urgent measures to address the worsening food crisis in West Africa and Sahel, warning that millions could face severe hunger if proactive steps are not taken. Speaking at the third meeting of the ECOWAS Regional Food Security Reserve Management Committee in Abuja, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kari, stressed the importance of food reserves in tackling food insecurity in the region. Kari, represented by the ministry's permanent secretary, Marcus Ogumbiye, acknowledged the effort of ECOWAS leaders in establishing the region's Food Reserve Initiative in 2013, describing it as a crucial intervention for food security. The federal government, through the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, that is NCAA, has approved for Max Air to resume its domestic flight operation after a successful completion of an economic and safety audit. The Director, Public Affairs and Consumer Protection of the NCAA, Michael Achimogu, made this known in a statement. Achimogu noted that during the suspension period, NCAA conducted a thorough safety and economic audit of the airline. And now on the foreign scene, thousands of people in central Ukraine were left without electricity following a country-wide Russian attack involving more than 130 drones that damaged critical infrastructure. Kyiv and Moscow have recently escalated cross-border drone and missile attacks despite a U.S.-led proposal for a 30-day ceasefire for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The governor of the Zaporozhye region, which the Kremlin claimed as part of Russia, said around 3,000 people were cut off from the grid following the attack, which he said damaged critical infrastructure. The European Union says Russia and China were using massive digital arsenals to interfere in the Western democracies, while their messaging around the war in Ukraine had become increasingly aligned. A foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, says foreign information manipulation and interference is a major security threat to the European Union. The fragile ceasefire in Gaza is under serious risk of shatter as waves of Israeli airstrike have reportedly killed about 330 people in the Palestinian city. The health ministry said the number is expected to rise as many remain under the rubble of destroyed buildings in Gaza. Israel, which has enforced a total blockade of Gaza, issued new forced displacement order for several areas, which prompted Palestinian militant groups Hamas calling it a treacherous attack on besieged and defenseless civilians in order to overturn the Gaza ceasefire deal. And now to the world of sport, where Lionel Messi will miss Argentina's World Cup qualifiers this month after suffering a groin strain in Inter Miami's victory over Atlanta at the weekend. His club confirmed that Messi was left out of Argentina's squad for the world champions clash against Uruguay on Friday, which is followed by a shutdown with Brazil on March 25. Inter Miami says in a statement that a scan had revealed Messi suffered a low-grade injury in the abductor muscle in the 2-1 win on Sunday. The statement gave no timeline for Messi's return. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will return to action later this week as they face Rwanda in a must-win match for their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualification campaign. Nigeria currently sits in the 5th place in Group C, having secured just 3 points from their opening 4 matches. The fixture will also mark the debut of new head coach Eric Chile, a Franco-Malian tactician appointed earlier this year. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigerian's mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Ramsey Enoch. Thank you for watching.